Alright, Blogarians, welcome back to another Blogarian hit. Alright, today we're doing Wacky's tier list over monsters and hazards in Lethal Company. Alright, maybe in the future we'll be dropping the D-Bone list, the Carson list, and the Brecken list, but for right now we're going to keep it at the Wacky list. You feel me? First up, oh, by the way, this whole list is going to be based off how scary they are, how hard it is to avoid them, and all that nonsense, right? First up, the baboon hawk. This guy right here. Now, he'll scare you if you're outside. It's the middle of the night. You think you see a dog? Nope, it's a baboon hawk. However, they're not really gonna kill you unless you beat them, or unless you have like less people than them. And I've never been even attacked by one. But however, they are a little bit scary. So we'll put them in like level C, right? Just because, if you're outside and it's dark and you hear, right behind you and it pops up right behind you, it'll scare you a little bit, right? Next up, we got the Bracken, also called the Brecken by the Blogarians. Now, this guy right here, he's definitely quite scary. Alright, you're inside, you run up to him, you're running through the halls, and you just see this guy around the corner, and you gotta look away real fast. He'll let out a little scream, make you scream a little bit. Uh, I wouldn't say they're the hardest to deal with. I've been killed by them a couple times, but which is why I'm thinking of putting them in S tier. You know, kind of difficult to deal with, pretty scary, just not that super duper level of spookiness and like killer energy. Next one, some people's opinions might be on this bunker spider. However, I personally think they are A tier. All right, if I'm running through the halls and I like accidentally step on a web, I'm screaming like because I know there's a fat spider crawling towards me. Then, all right, it's scary, and I don't care what any of y'all say. I do care what you say. I love my Blogarian fans. However, when it comes to this spider, it's A tier and it's not moving. They're also pretty hard to deal with if you don't got a shovel. You just gotta run. The bees aren't scary, are easy to deal with. All you gotta do is not take their hive. Now, if you're gonna try and take their hive, then they're like a B tier in terms of difficulty to deal with. However, you could just avoid them. You don't need to take it, right? Next up, actually, let's get the like no-brainers out of here immediately. Like, why is he even here? Those guys are like friendly little dudes, right? Friendly little dudes. Alright. So let's get to the real tier list now. Alright, the coil heads. The coil heads are they're probably like the scariest enemy to me, I'm not gonna lie. They're pretty scary. Yeah, yeah. I say they're not like as physically scary as the Bracken. However, I am 100% gonna say that they're harder to deal with, and they'll spook you if you like look away and look back real fast or right in your face. Yeah, yeah, they are scary. Okay, now it's time for the worm. Not really scary. However, he has a threat, so he'll be in B tier. We have to turn around and run real fast. I wouldn't say he's scary. I say he's just a nuisance, really. Uh, he'll get you sometimes, that's for sure, but I wouldn't say he's necessarily a problem. He's not like the top of my worry list every time I land on a moon. The eyeless dog. Alright, this little guy is gonna be above the spider. He's more scary. S tier. He uses your microphone. Very cool. Hard to deal with. You crouch by him, especially when he's teamed up with our next guy, the forest giant. Definitely has scared me quite a bit. I will say so myself. He has scared me. You're sitting there, you just saw your friend get mauled to death. You're just sitting there still crouched. Yeah, scary guy. I feel like that's a good place for him. This guy. This guy. I hate him. I hate him entirely. This is my least favorite monster in the game. That and the Thumper, which we'll do the Thumper next. The Thumper and the Forest Giant are just like the dumb ones. So he's gonna be, yeah, he's S plus tier, right? He's the hardest to deal with. Your only chance of beating him. He's faster than you. He always sees you if he spawns, and he's on the green moons, and especially on the green moons. But Jesus Christ, nothing like being chased. We hear him behind you, knowing you're gonna die unless you're like right by the ship. It's just I hate him. I wish he was removed from the game. A tier for the Thumper. Thumper's scariness is A tier. Hard to deal with. Not really if you have a shovel, alright? You can get up into him and like slowly walk backwards and just keep hitting him with it. Alright, enough said. He's the most straightforward enemy in the game. It's just like that. Ghost Girl. Yeah, S tier in terms of difficulty to deal with, dude. You have to like break her ankles to stay alive. And she's always on you. And S plus for being scary, dude. You turn around, you help me. All that nonsense. Yeah, she's rare, but she's scary. Hoarding bug. Oh yeah, yeah. You are going to be. I've been killed by a hoarding bug once. That's it. So you're gonna go right there. Just don't touch their stuff. Otherwise, they're like friendly dudes. All right. Just don't touch them, dude. It's all right. These guys are gonna be right here. The slimes. Just they're really dumb. All right. They just move slow. I don't know. I'm happy they're in the game. However, I don't like seeing them. I'm not like hype. The Jester. That is a hard enemy to deal with. I would say, okay, let's fix this list here. There we go. Harder than less like more hard than the coil head. More hard than more hard than the coil head. More scary than the coil head. If you got a Jester, you gotta correlate with your team. You gotta cooperate real good. Get out of there. All that nonsense. I ain't trying to do all that. So I'm just happier if I don't see a Jester at all. Right? Landmine. Yeah, those guys are pretty much obsolete, dude. Unless they're in front of a door. I guess we'll put them right here. Just straightforward. It's a landmine. Masks. Okay. Yes. 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 There. Okay. Mask. You just don't put on the mask and you're fine. However, the reason why they're not right here is because they can spawn on their own without having you put on the mask. So, I guess that's the only reason. It's just mimic. It's all that nonsense. Nutcracker. Hard-ish to deal with. Not really that scary, right? So, harder than the Thumper. Not harder than the Spider. That's where I'd put him, because you can correlate with your team, zap gun him, all that stuff. Yeah, it's really that. Snare Flea, right here. Yeah, right here. If you're with a teammate, just have him hit you on the head with a shovel. In fact, if you can find your shovel on the ground after it grabs you, you can hit yourself, dude. You can hit yourself and get him off your head. So that's good. All right, to the turret. Turrets run with a landmine is a little bit harder than the baboon hawk. You too. Harder than the hoarding bug. In fact, so is the landmine. So the turret, you just have a teammate disable it. If you don't, then you kind of just gotta run past it. And the spore lizard is he's a good guy, dude. Honestly, I love spore lizards, dude. They're fire. Dude, I love those guys. You see one? They're just scared of you. It's nothing crazy. So that's it, dude. That's it. This here is the Blogarian tier list. Leave in the comments, all right, if you agree with these picks, and if you don't agree, let me know. Let me have it, dude. I, we'll fix that right up, all right? We'll clear it up. Maybe have to make a remake with all of us and like do little windows. That'd be pretty fire. Get everyone's opinion on this. But this here, as it stands, is Wacky's tier list. Might update. We'll do an update when they add more monsters. But that's it. All right, bye, gang.